When they heard Shelley's name, the students crowded around again, mouths agape. Suddenly, half a dozen were holding cell phones aloft as they jostled each other to get the best angles for pictures of the body in its plastic cocoon. Tom swore under his breath.
"Get back up to the road and on your bus," he ordered. "I need this area cleared. No pictures, for God's sake."
Megan sobbed in Rachel's arms. Some of the other girls began crying, their litter spikes abandoned on the ground.
"It's really her, isn't it?"
Jarrett stared, pale-faced, at what he'd uncovered.
"She must have been murdered, right?"
"What's she doing here?" the freckle-faced son of a lawyer asked.
"I mean, she disappeared in Fairfax County, didn't she? Do you think—"
"What I think is that you need to show a little consideration for Megan," Tom said.
The boy glanced at Megan and ducked his head.
"Sorry," he mumbled.
"Now go on,"
Tom said. "All of you."
They moved off reluctantly, glancing back over their shoulders as they climbed the slope. When thunder cracked directly overhead and the sparse raindrops turned to a steady drizzle, they picked up speed and scrambled for the shelter of the bus.
"I need to go up to the road to call in," Tom told Rachel. "I can't get a cell signal down here. I'll have to wait for backup before I can take Megan home and talk to her parents. Why don't the two of you get out of the rain?"
All he needed was a storm washing away trace evidence, reducing the crime scene to a muddy mess. "Come on," Rachel said to Megan. "Let's go wait for Tom in my car." Rachel looked shaken, but she kept her voice steady, and Tom knew he could count on her to stay calm for the girl's sake. "No." Megan tried to squirm free. "I can't leave Shelley down here all by herself." Rachel held on, both arms around Megan. "We have to let the police do their job, and we have to take you home to your mom and dad. You need to be with them now." Tom helped Rachel get the girl up the slope. One on each side, they kept her on her feet when she stumbled over rocks and roots and tugged her forward when she tried to run back to her sister. The students had boarded the bus, but half of them clustered on the side overlooking the ravine, some sticking their cell phones through open windows to snap more pictures. The driver stood in the doorway, looking confused.
"What am I supposed to do?"
he asked when he spotted Tom.
"Get them out of here."
Tom was sure they were spreading news of the discovery by text and email, and he was afraid Shelley's parents would find out through gossip before he was able to talk to them face to face.
"Settle down, you guys,"
the driver yelled at the students. He slammed the door shut, slid behind the wheel, and revved the engine. While Rachel guided Megan into the backseat of a Range Rover, Tom dug his cell phone out of his shirt pocket. He ordered dispatch to call in all off-duty deputies. He made a second call to Sergeant Dennis Murray, asking him to pick up Daniel Beecher from his job at the McKendrick Horse Farm and drive him home. Next, Tom phoned Dr. Gretchen Lauder, the county's medical examiner, and finally the state police, to request a crime scene investigator. With the necessary calls made, the school bus gone, and Megan slumped against Rachel's shoulder in the Range Rover, Tom had time to take a deep breath and think about what was happening. He stood at the top of the ravine, letting the drizzle soak his hair, staring down at the old mattress and the body it had concealed. He'd recognized Shelley Beecher instantly, even though slight bloating distorted the oval shape of her face. Long blonde hair draped her shoulders, and the outfit on the body matched the description of what she was wearing when last seen: short blue jacket over a pink sweater, jeans, athletic shoes. Tom had believed Shelley was dead since the day she disappeared in Northern Virginia, where she was a first-year law student. So did the Fairfax County detective on the case. But she didn't look as if she'd been dead a month. Bloating and decomposition were noticeable but not advanced. The plastic was still clean. If she wasn't killed immediately after her abduction, where had she been for the last month? And, as one of the boys had asked, why did her body turn up here in her home county in the mountains of southwestern Virginia, hours away from the place where she went missing? The sound of approaching vehicles broke into his thoughts. More deputies had arrived to secure the scene. Now Tom had to take Megan home to her parents and tell them their older daughter was lying dead in a ravine. The Beechers' two-story white house seemed eerily quiet and lonely when Tom turned Rachel's Range Rover into the driveway. After weeks of friends and neighbors streaming in to comfort